Positive reinforcement is good and negative reinforcement is bad, right? Let's talk. So if you have a child who is in ABA or applied behavior analysis, a lot of times you will hear the terms positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. In fact, even if you don't have a child in ABA, we use those terms a lot, positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. And a lot of times I'll just talk to somebody and they'll be talking about, oh, I positively reinforced my child, just talk about a lot, positive reinforcement. Well, today I want to break down positive and negative reinforcement a little bit more so you can have a little bit better understanding of it, because I know that the terms are a little bit misunderstood. So when we think of positive reinforcement, we think of it something good, like everybody likes positive reinforcement. And yes, everybody likes positive reinforcement. But when people talk about negative reinforcement, they often talk about, I spanked that child. That was negative reinforcement. No, there's nothing reinforcing in a spanking, I don't think. So that's actually incorrect. So most people think of positive reinforcement as something good and negative reinforcement as something bad. But that is really not how you should look at it. You really want to look at positive reinforcement is when something is added, and negative reinforcement is when something is taken away. For example, positive reinforcement could be, clean up your room and I'll give you some ice cream. Yay, I cleaned up my room and I got something. That's positive reinforcement. That ice cream was added. So negative reinforcement is basically how to also increase a behavior. Because when we're looking at reinforcement, the whole objective of reinforcement is to increase a behavior or to increase the likelihood of behavior. If we promise Johnny that he cleans his room, he'll get ice cream, we're going to increase the likelihood that he is going to clean his room if he likes ice cream. If he doesn't like ice cream, it's not a reinforcer. So if he likes ice cream, he'll clean his room. It's more likely that he's going to clean his room, therefore increasing that behavior. But say we have negative reinforcement. So negative reinforcement is also reinforcement, but it just means when something is taken away. So we all know what happens when we get into our car and we're in a hurry and we're driving. Beep, 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 beep. It's the seatbelt buzzer buzzing at us. So quickly we just put in our seatbelts to make that go away. That's negative reinforcement. The car manufacturers put in something for negative reinforcement that we will not like, we'll want to get rid of. So that right there, taking away that annoying beep, beep, beep sound is negative reinforcement. So there's lots of things in our life that happen that we will increase our likelihood of a behavior if we take something away. Like babies, for example, humans, we're born with the most incredible thing. We are born with the ability to cry, and people do not like it when babies cry. So a baby cries, rah, rah, rah. Somebody comes and picks us up. That's negative reinforcement. That baby stops crying. So for the person picking the baby up, that's acting as a negative reinforcer because the crying is going away. But for the baby, it's positive reinforcement. So we have that built into human nature as people to get our needs met. So when you talk about positive and negative reinforcement, just remember they're both reinforcers. Positive reinforcement is a very powerful tool, and negative reinforcement is a very reinforcing tool. So think about it. A lot of people will say, well, why should I have to give my son ice cream to clean up his room? Yeah, our whole worlds are made up of positive and negative reinforcement. I go to work and every 2 weeks I get a paycheck. That's positive reinforcement. If you speed and they give you a ticket, what is that? It's not negative reinforcement because you don't like it. It's going to decrease the behavior. So that would be a form of punishment. So that would be more like an adversive. So let's not get punishment mixed up with negative reinforcement. So when you're working with your child, just think, what can I do to make their behavior more likely to occur? And is it by giving them something that they like or taking something away that they don't like? They both work the same, just one is adding and one is subtracting. I hope that made it a little bit easier for you to understand. If you have any additional questions or want some more examples, just comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you.